Promotions are something that many of us really strive to, really want. We want to get up there. We want to be moving up in the ranks. When you are a first responder, the thing is um when I start talking to you guys about stress system symptoms, when we talk about motivation and drive, sleep issues, um, and quite often I'll ask things like, I'll find out about what rank you are. And as soon as I find out that you have gone through the ranks, then I usually ask you what symptoms changed when you got that promotion. And the reason is that our bodies have never adapted since caveman days. Um, it's just one of those things where when our body thought that there was a stress, any stress, good, bad, whatever it was, all the cavalry came out. So your cortisol would be pumping out through your body. That's that stress energy hormone. Your glucose would pump out to give you that extra energy to fight that fight. But because it's never adapted since caveman days, all kinds of other stressors now also elicit this stressful response. And it doesn't matter if you are physically on a hot call, where you are in a foot pursuit, where you are putting out a fire, where you are, on scene of an accident. It doesn't matter if you are physically physically using your body on that call, or if you are mentally taxing yourself. So when you have a promotion, there's a lot of things that happen and it's so fascinating. It depends on the state you're in. It depends on a lot of the rules and regs of your service. But quite often there's a lengthy process to get to that promotion. There's a lot of studying involved. There's a lot of learning and things that you need to be doing on top of your regular duties ahead of time. So you're already working 12, 24, 48-hour shifts. And on top of that, you also need to be studying. And that stress alone starts taxing your body. And then when you do get the promotion, you're now not only in charge of yourself, you are in charge of all of the guys under you. It's not just your life, it is the lives of everybody under you. And if somebody is maybe burnt out, maybe exhausted, maybe they have that short fuse, they're frustrated, they have that brain fog, they can't think anymore. They may be making mistakes, and those come on you. So that responsibility is on you, and you have that extra layer of stress that is there 24/7 because you're worrying about your guys even when you're not on shift. So you always are eliciting this stress response in your body. The stress response is hitting you all of the time. And then you're also answering to those above you. There are certain protocols, there's certain procedures, all of these things that have to happen, and a lot more paperwork falls on your desk. And the thing is that when you have all of this paperwork as well, I know for a lot of you that are on the road, after your call is done, you have paperwork. And when you're on the call, you're good. But afterwards, when you're doing that paperwork, that's when you may struggle to remember the details. You may have to push your brain may be foggy, trying to remember or just trying to fill out a form that you have been doing every single shift, every day of your career starts taking so much energy, motivation, and time. I'm actually curious for those watching, how long, once you got used to doing reports, did it take you to do them? And how long did it take you, like 5, 10 years into shift? Did it take you longer? Or were you not filling them out as much? I hear of a lot of guys that were really, really known for really good reports. And when we start working with them, they're like, my reports are horrible now. I can't remember details. Or when you are in that power, they actually said, I started handing it to my team to do. And you may find that as you're going through your promotions as well, that because that brain gets more foggy, because it takes more energy to even think about what the question is asking you, let alone filling in the answer, is so energy draining and so taxing and exhausting that when it comes time, if you can hand that off to one of your guys, you may. I also hear situations where, like, I've heard this in a fire station, you're there for 24 hours. So you're really seeing the habits of people. And I've heard quite often where there's certain chiefs that are sleeping all the time, always taking naps. They're like, yeah, our chief's lazy. And I started asking them and dig into this. I'm like, what was that chief like before? When they were in the position prior or moving through the ranks, were they really good at their job? Were they active? Were they in there doing things? They're like, yeah, they were all in it. But once they became chief, they got so lazy. And that's where I start asking about the other signs, the short fuse, the easy or frustrated. Are they just not able to big picture think because they're in that forward thinking all the time now, which you're in and you need to be in to keep yourself safe on the scene of an accident. But when you're doing reports and you're doing all of these things that a lot of those positions as you raise up the ranks require, your brain is not able to switch into that resting nervous state. Your brain is not able to move into the hormones that you're needed, keep switching into that stress state. And you need the other hormones from your resting state to big picture think, fill out those reports. And as you're going through this as well, your stress hormone gets thrown out all the time. And the more that stress hormone gets thrown out for mental stressors, the more it needs to get cleaned up. And your brain over time just starts shutting it down. And when your brain is shutting it down, that stress hormone is also your energy hormone. So your energy, motivation, and drive decrease. It's one of those things that we often don't think of with promotions and moving up the ladder, but it is something that every single time I talk to somebody that has moved their way up the ranks, about when certain symptoms started to increase. It could even be cholesterol, low testosterone. It could be blood sugar levels, diabetes. A lot of these things are telling us that your stress system has been taxed and is asking for help. So there's a different step process to go in there. We have 3 steps. We have where we need to go in and make sure that your hormones are working the way that they need to, the 50 hormones that your nervous system or that your stress system is in charge of: sleeping, waking, blood sugars, energy, cholesterol, cognitive thinking, short-term memory, cholesterol, gut, digestion, your gallbladder, all of your organ functions. All of these things are manned by those 50 hormones of your stress system. We also need to make sure that your nervous system is tracking correctly. Are you living in your stress nervous system? Because it is so strong and so overpowering your resting nervous system. Do we need to start strengthening your resting nervous system so you can kick into that to do your reports, to big picture think, to be able to relax and unwind and for your body to heal? And then that also leads into gut issues, which we've talked about. That's a more in-depth conversation, but 90% of your serotonin is produced in your gut. So if you're having any gut issues as well as a result of the hormones being off, your nervous system shutting down your gut, then your serotonin starts decreasing. And that's where depression, motivation, and drive, that serotonin is your happy, feel good, I'm motivated, I love to do things with people hormone. And that all starts to decrease. So a lot of the things that you wanted and thought that you would do in the position that you're in, you may have no interest in anymore. And quite often that is a combination of gut, serotonin, other things going on in your gut, nervous system, and hormones. So there's a reason for it. And that's where we need to really take that deep dive, lift the hood of your stress system and dive into all 3 of these systems and get them back on track so that you can continue to be that leader that you know you are, and continue to be that influence for those guys under you, and show them truly how things are done and really get them understanding how to take care of themselves. If I work with you, then you can impact everybody under you. And as you're moving through the ranks with more energy, more motivation, more drive, your sleep's on track, you can move higher up the ranks as well. It's easier to get through those promotions. And it's easier to do the tasks that are on you. So let us know how we can help you, because then you can have that compound effect on everybody under you. Email us if you'd like, support@911lifestyle.com. We're always here to answer your questions. We have also made the program so you can stay anonymous in it. You can use an alias name. Nobody knows who's asking questions and who is really in the program. So you can have that anonymous help. Your service doesn't know, and we can get you there, but then you can have that compound effect on everybody under you. All right, reach out, support@911lifestyle.com, and let us know how we can help.